Marlon was kind of hunting, and Frankie was just kind of staying active, and he was gonna lose a decision anyway.
So who won the third round? Cheeto.
Cheeto Baby Toe won.
Oh yeah.
I'd be happy too if I was 18-3 in the UFC. Shoot, what you mean? But anyway, we got some bantamweights here. We got Chris Gutierrez, El Guapo, fighting against the answer, Frankie Edgar, and I got the answer.
I got a question. Why is he still fighting in the UFC?
But when you look at the people he got beat by, this is crazy.
Legendary people.
When you look at it, dude, now getting knocked out by a jiu-jitsu guy, that's crazy. Brian Ortega, I ain't gonna lie. But the Max Holloway one, he got beat by a decision by Max Holloway after that. That was 5 rounds. That's very impressive. Luckily, Max ain't got knockout power like that. But then he did get knocked out by a Korean zombie. And then the Corey Sandhagen, this was God saying, don't do it. You know, then they rebooked it. They was trying to get a little easy little win. You know, they was just, look at the record. Look, they was intent on making this Pedro fight happen to get in that win streak.
Yes, man.
I'm saying they was intent on making that fight happen because
they scheduled it 10 more times.
If we got to rebook this 10 more times, we're gonna do it. He finally got it, and then we see why they rebooked it 4 times.
And we see how somebody won a fight they didn't deserve to.
And we saw that, and then
that made him be on a 5-fight losing streak though.
And then the Corey Sandhagen one was crazy. And then I went back and looked at the Cheeto Vera fight, and when I went back and watched that one, Frankie barely won the first one because on the feet, it ain't like either one of them was going too crazy, but obviously Marlon was kind of hunting, and Frankie was just kind of staying active and trying to get something going. But he got the takedown, and he was on top. So in a close fight, that gives him the first round. The second round, he wasn't able to hold him down like that, and he lost that round. In the third round, he didn't get a single takedown. He was going to lose a decision anyway.
So who won the third round?
Cheeto Baby Toe won. So he was going to lose anyway. Even if he didn't get knocked out, he was still going to be down 2-1. I tell you what, man, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible matchup right now. This dude, he's not on the level of the people that beat Frankie, but
it's not a terrible matchup.
Remember when Henry Barral started getting beat, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're losing to Andrew Ewell. This is one of those things where, like, a few years ago, this fight would have never made sense, and I would never have picked this guy over you. But now, for where you are, yeah. But man,
the only thing is, you're talking about Frankie. Frankie could be 60 years old and be looking for a title shot, fighting somebody on one day.
But this is retirement fight. You know, he said this is retirement.
He said that. Fighters be saying that, man.
He said that, and then he backdoored and fought Brian, Max, Korean Zombie, Corey Sandhagen, and Cheeto back to back. And I was like, bro, wasn't you supposed to be?
Frankie, honestly, bro, his career is legendary, man. He fought at lightweight, was champion, fought at featherweight. He fought for the belt at featherweight. Now he's in bantamweight. So if
he ain't gonna get no title shot
at
bantamweight.
I'm saying he made it far. They say he was in 3 different weight classes and he was in top 5 and all of them.
That's wild.
That's never been done before.
Oh, speaking of Andrew Ewell, Chris Gutierrez actually beat that guy. But I'm gonna tell you something. He had a draw with Cody Durden. That should shine some light on Frankie. But man, ultimately, stand-up wise, obviously you got to give the advantage to Chris, man. He got the kicks. Have you seen him? His crisp striking.
He's a more refined version of Frankie. Because Frankie moved around too, but Frankie.
No, this dude is a striker. Like he throwing spinning back kicks, kicks to the body, and he's very clean and crisp and calculated. Like he's
very clean and crisp and calculated. It's just sometimes he can be too calculated at times. Does that make sense?
But you ain't got to worry about Frankie doing nothing with it. It ain't like you standing across from Song Yadong who can capitalize on it. It's Frankie Edgar. Frankie gonna have to get this fight to the ground, man. And unfortunately, in order for him to do that safely, he's gonna have to close the distance. Unfortunately, even when Frankie has done that for 3 rounds, he still got knocked out. What does Frankie do? What's the answer?
Well, he do what he's been doing his whole career. He gonna find a way to win. Another thing is, 3-round fights, he's best suited for 5 rounds. I don't know why he took this. Well, I guess because of the card already stacked. Yeah, a 3-round fight benefits more. And who does it benefit him fighting 3 rounds?
Frankie, because that's 2 less rounds he got to worry about getting knocked out unconscious. But when he get knocked out, bro,
he's getting knocked out. He's getting knocked out.
But he's fighting a person with a kickboxing background, a kickboxing style, and throwing head kicks. And I'm not talking about just throwing them just to be throwing. I'm talking about he's setting them up with a good jab. He's setting them up with good striking.
I'm seeing a bunch of leg kicks and a bunch of jabs. That's
but
technical,
but he's doing it and then body kick, and then he doing it, then head kick. And Frankie, at this point in his career, man,
Frankie gonna Yair him, man.
I was thinking it. I was thinking that would be his best chance, but the Yair fight, you got to realize, man, the Yair fight was in 2017, and I know it don't feel like it was that long ago, but Frankie had a lot of fights since then, man.
And that was in his prime too, the Yair.
And that was the end.
I don't think a lot of nothing gonna happen in this fight because the way both of them fight, you know what I mean?
Well, even if a little something do happen, it probably end with Frankie being finished. Because what Frankie got to do to finish his fight? Now, if he can take this dude down and take his back and submit him, Frankie gonna have to go for a rear naked choke, man. He gonna have to get this dude on the ground, take his back. You can't just take him down and think, well, I'm gonna win the decision. And if I can get the takedown, but that's Frankie's whole career is, if I can just get the takedown, even though I don't pass guard, even though I don't go for a submission, if I can just get the takedown. That's why he got beat by Cheeto. That's why he's been losing these fights. You can't just get no takedown. It ain't good enough. But I think with this being his retirement fight, I refuse to think Frankie gonna go out with a loss. My mind is telling me Chris should win.
My mind's telling me no.
My heart is saying Frankie better go out there and win this fight and go out with a W.
And Frankie's one of them Neil Magny type fighters that if it's any kind of close, he was on the verge of winning that Cheeto fight. It ain't telling what would have happened. The trajectory of the bantamweight division, if he would have beat Cheeto, he'd probably be fighting somebody else right now, man. But I mean, Sean O'Malley. But no, not Sean.
Never. At no point in
Shawn Michaels, huh?
I was gonna say at no point in his career, but there was a point in Frankie's career where Sean definitely stood no chance. But that fight would be 50-44 across the board.
And that's what I'm saying, because I'm looking at Frankie's record, and like, this is not 2013 no more, man. Like, his prime is almost 10 years ago.
That's why I was telling you that even the Yair fight, bro, that was 5 years ago. 5 years in MMA is like dog years. That's a lot, man.
I'm just seeing how he did cuts once. That was 2018. That was 3 years ago.
That's 4 years ago. That almost 4 years. And that was almost 5 because we finna be in 2023. So the 5-year fight was 5 years ago. That was almost 6 years ago. And the 4 years ago was almost 5.
Yeah, I might go with Chris, man, but not by nothing extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's just a same.
I don't know. I was watching Chris fights, man, and man, he can surprise you. He can do some things, man. Like, he do the little boring stuff to set up the major stuff. That's what I'm really afraid of. But sheesh, man, I'll keep my money in my pocket on this one.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.